Hello YouTube, Arrow Assassin here today, and today I want to go over the best tanks in order with you guys. So, I did this back when Legion first started, and clearly a lot has changed since then. And most of what I said back then is pretty much outdated. So let's go over the first one. Most of you, if you've been watching my videos, probably won't be surprised by this choice, and I'm not basing it just because I'm a druid person. I'm just basing it off. I pretty much. I'm basing all of this off evidence of what I've been versing. I've picked fights with every tank possible. I know which ones the tanks are in strongest to least strongest, and so yeah. First up is Guardian Druid. So if you watched this video when I first did it before Legion, if not, I said Guardian Druid was the worst tank in the game, for PvP. And they completely sucked. I mean, now the roles are reversed. They have gone from the least powerful tank to the most powerful tank. So it's kind of funny. The reason why I feel like they are so powerful is because for a few reasons. Let me switch some gear here. Alright. And the reason why they're so powerful is for a few reasons. They took away the damage reduction they did, so they do normal damage in PvP now, so they can actually do damage. They have tons of defensives, so let's go over the defensives. Survival Instincts, 2 charges, and it's lower cooldown if you take Survival of the Fittest. You have Bark Skin. You have Rage of Sleeper, which is kind of like a little mini Karma type thing. I mean, you still take damage, but it's redirected at them, so it's kind of like a mini Karma. And it's probably my favorite ability next to Overrun in the game. You have Iron Fur to take less damage against melee, and you even have Mark of Ursol to take magic reduction against casters. So, yeah, between the survivability, the damage, you even have heals. You also have another defense, kind of. You take elemental damage, and you take, for example, if a Shadow Priest stalks you, you take less shadow damage. So yeah, guys, I mean, Guardian Druid is just a really powerful tank overall. That's why I put them first. So with that, guys, I'm going to go on to the next class to show you guys which was the next more powerful one. Alright, guys, up next is Prot Warrior. If you watched Swifty before play Prot Warrior, you won't really be surprised by this decision. They're just, in my opinion, the second best tank. They also have really great damage. They have not the best defensive well, they have a lot of defensive cooldowns, but I feel like compared to Guardian Druid and stuff, I feel like they don't have as much, but they still have pretty good, like Last Stand, Shield Wall, Demoralizing Shout. Ignore Pain helps a little bit. Overall, guys, I see a lot more Prot Warriors and Guardian Druids than any other tank, and for good reason. They're just pretty much the top 2 tanks currently right now. They do damage, it's pretty much the main reason. They just do actual damage compared to the other tanks. So that's why I put them second. Not really much to say. They have some decent mobility. Not a lot, but some. They have a few stuns, CCs, shield wall, just your standard stuff. So with that, guys, I'm going to move on to the next one. Alright, guys, up next is Blood DK. The reason why I'm putting this third is because they actually just got buffed recently. They took away the damage reduction, so they do full normal damage like the other 2 tanks right now. The other tanks, I feel like, are still weak because I don't think they changed it. I don't remember if they did or not. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But that's why Blood DK is third. They can actually do normal damage to keep themselves up now. They actually do semi-decent damage now. So that's basically a reason why I put Blood DK third. I have actually faced a lot of Blood DKs recently, and there's actually been a few of them where they actually don't die, so I feel like in the right hands, Blood DK now could actually be pretty good. So that's why I put them third. Like I said, just the only reason why I put Guardian and Warrior top, because they're I feel like a lot more stronger than Blood DK right now. But Blood DK is in actually a pretty decent spot now, so if you're a Blood DK person, play Blood DK, they're pretty good. Alright guys, up next is Brewmaster, and I'm just gonna say right now, I legitimately know nothing about Brewmaster, but the reason why I'm putting this fourth is because, a few reasons. I've seen what a good Brewmaster can do, and it is probably one of the few only tanks I've seen that in this expansion that has been in an RBG. Not even joking, I saw Brewmaster in an RBG a few days ago, and he was actually pretty good. I'd never seen a Brewmaster really get in a battleground before as much as I have with him, but he clearly knew what he was doing, and he was doing some pretty good damage. He did some good control. Um, like I said, I don't really know much about Brewmaster to really explain it. I just feel like if you know what you're doing, because it's a really complicated spec, it's probably one of the most complicated specs in the game. People may disagree with me, that's fine, but I talked to a lot of people and they agree with me on that one, but people have different opinions and views on it, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, guys, that's the reason why I put this as the next spec, because, I mean, if a Brewmaster could play in an RBG, I mean, that deserves to be put higher on the list. And like I said, another good Brewmaster that knows what they're doing will definitely do some pretty good work. So that is why I am putting this on the list, guys. I think there's something to do with guard as well. You could put guards on allies within 15 yards. That pretty much helps them a lot. You could also craft nimble brews, so you can give them a trinket. Overall, I feel like Brewmaster's got some pretty good stuff to help the team out. So moving on to the next class, guys. Alright guys, up next is Paladin. I had a hard time picking between these two last two tanks. I'm sure you're not really surprised by what the last two choices are, considering how they are at the moment. Personally, I think both of these last two tanks are not that great. Prop Ally used to be really good back in Legion Beta. If you've seen my Legion Beta video, Prop Ally, they actually were okay back then. They were pretty powerful, but as Legion has gone over in time, they have just been nerfed every patch, most of the hotfixes, not every hotfix obviously, but most. They nerf their damage, they take more damage. Every prop ally I see in Battlegrounds just melts. I mean, it's kind of depressing, but it's just the way they are. But I put them over the other tank just because I feel like they could do maybe a little bit more damage. They can also heal themselves maybe a little bit more than the other tank. So that's just my opinion, of course. If you play a prop ally main, I'm sure you'll probably disagree with me. That's fine, but that's just my opinion on prop allies right now. Alright guys, up next is Vengeance Demon Hunter. If you've also seen my Legion Beta videos, like I said, I've done lots of tank videos back in Legion Beta, and I'm pretty sure I played every tank. But yeah, and I made that list back then. You will know I absolutely love Vengeance Demon Hunter. It was my favorite tank. I pretty much played it non-stop until Legion came out. And then people got upset and cried, and they just nerfed them to hell. I mean, they are literally so useless in Battlegrounds probably right now that they're not even probably worth playing anymore. That is how sad they made them. And it's depressing because they were my favorite tank to play in Legion Beta. Like, I literally played it probably every single day. That's how much I loved Vengeance Demon Hunter. I was excited to play in Legion, and then it's just to the point where it's not even feel like worth playing, to be honest. It's just that painful. I mean, the mobility is great. You got Demonic Trample, which is my favorite spell ever in this game probably, and you have tons of CC. You got 2 silences, you have a fear, and you have a dot. But the problem is they're kind of like DKs. You need the self-healing, and in order to self-heal you have to do damage. But the damage in PvP is like so incredibly bad because they haven't taken away the damage reduction from them yet, like they did with DKs, Guardians, and Warriors. So the damage is low and you can't really self-heal, and then you'll get slaughtered and then you'll die. I mean, just my opinion, guys. I mean, this used to be, like I said, my favorite tank. It's just, I wanted to play it so bad, but it's just, Maybe they'll fix it. I don't know. With the way people are about tanks, I'm not really sure they will. But yeah, guys, this is my opinion on the current order of tanks. This is mostly just evidence on versing them, seeing how many there are. I've waited long enough to post this, so post something like this. I feel like this is pretty much about right. I've even asked a few people's opinions on it, and for the most part, actually, a lot of people agreed with me on this. Some people disagreed, but you know, opinions are opinions, and if you disagree with me, let me know why, and I'll talk to you guys later.